Every person has armor on. If you are a high achiever, you have armor on. You have to know when it's time to put down your weapons and the armor and show up as mom or dad and not just a warrior.
Talk to me about your wind down routine.
The wind down routine for me is really simple, and I have to give credit where credit is due, which is my therapist, Kevin Downing. And good old Kevin, by the way, if you were to see, can we describe Kevin so your audience can get a real good visual? You take Einstein with his white, frizzy hair, you shave off Einstein's eyebrows, and you've got Kevin. And it was about 4 sessions in, I just kind of stare at him, I'm like, Kevin, I can't. I'm like, oh shit, you don't have eyebrows. He's like, man, it took you 4 sessions to figure that out.
Does he shave them off?
No, the dude, I asked him, I'm like, what the fuck, man? He's like, I just don't have eyebrows. But just kind of weird, right? You can't nail it, and then boom, it hit me one day. I was like, Kevin, I get home, and this is like, so let's see, 2014, I had that big anxiety attack. 2015, I started working with Kevin for 2 years, almost 2 years. And so it was around 2015, 2016, and he's like, let's talk about your family. I'm like, man, let me tell you, like, they've got a good life. I make all this money. We've got a house manager, basically a housekeeper who also does the shopping and the laundry and changes light bulbs and all this stuff. Like, the wife and the kids don't have to do anything. They just live their awesome life. And yet when I come home at night, man, they're walking on eggshells. I didn't realize, like, I was leaning in and saying it very intensely, and he's leaning back in his chair. He goes, I could see why they're walking on eggshells.
He's like, so am I.
Right. He said, that's very intense energy. I'm like, well, of course it's intense. As an entrepreneur, I'm battling every day, man. I'm battling the market space. I'm battling competitors. I'm battling Facebook and the ads that they keep denying that I keep trying to run, and you got employees that are just like shit shows, blah, blah, blah. He's like, okay, I get it. But at some point, the warrior has to put down their armor when they come home, right? I'm like, yeah. He goes, so what is your routine when you come home? I don't know, man. I park my car and I walk inside the house. It's like, what if you did this? What if you park? And he had me describe my house. Like, well, the house is here, then we have this pool deck, and then over there we've got this separate detached garage. And so I park in the garage and I walk across the pool deck and I come into the back door, and that's when everybody scatters. All right? Even the dog wouldn't come up to me, dude. So I described this to him and he just laughed and he goes, what if when you park your car, when you turn it off, that's your cue to put a smile on your face, to get rid of that scowl. And then as you walk across the pool deck, imagine that you're some like medieval knight and your armor's falling off and your belt's falling off and the sword falls off and you take your helmet off, and in walks in, not a warrior, but dad and a husband who's willing to show his soft underbelly. He goes, you try that for a week and you let me know by our next session, because our sessions were every Monday. Like, fine. The first few days, nothing, right? Because they're like, yeah, right, this is just a bait and switch, right? You're gonna snap at us. Dude, by the time 4 or 5 days went by, the dog, the kids, the wife, the energy that I carried coming in was different. So every person has armor on. If you are a high achiever, you have armor on. You have to know when it's time to put down your weapons and the armor and show up as mom or dad and not just a warrior. So when I get home, the routine is pretty awesome these days, not so much back then, but these days, last several years actually, last seven years now. We'll go work out as a family at my gym, where you're gonna go work out after this. Usually by 6 o'clock, we're leaving the house. I leave here. I don't even have a key to HQ on purpose because I don't want to be the last person out. So I always have to get out with the last person because I can't lock up. I leave with the last person, which is usually around 5:15, 5:30. And then I'll get home, decompress. 6 o'clock, we're leaving for the gym. We have a family workout at my gym, and then my son and I will play either ping pong or we'll hit the hot tub at home, and then we'll have dinner, watch an episode of The Office or Parks and Rec, and then literally by 9:30, I'm winding down. And winding down for me means turning off, the notifications are turned off immediately when I pull into the garage, because your phone's always blowing up. So you can just turn off those notifications. Because people go, how do you have the discipline to not check your phone? I probably don't have the discipline, but if it's not flashing and buzzing and beeping, I don't notice. So I just turn off all the sounds and notifications and I'm done. Because if the poop hits the fan at 7 p.m. at night, something happens with the franchise, what can I really do to fix it other than next morning, right? And so I turn all that off, and so I'm fully present. We do our family workout and hot tub or ping pong, and we're having dinner together, and by 9:15, 9:30, I'm making that list, the GSD list on my phone, And by 10:15, we're in bed. And again, the routine is so simple. It's not easy because temptations are, let me just watch one more episode. And I get it, Netflix and Amazon Prime have done it so well where one episode ends and the next one starts in 3, 2, 1, right? Oh shit, okay, you know, they got a real compelling thumbnail and you're like, I just want to watch, let me just watch the first 3 minutes. And then before you know it, 32 minutes went by. That's why I say it's simple, but it's not easy. But if you value this one run that you have on this planet, because this is not a trial run, this is it, this is your run. If you value that, you will apply discipline and good habits to be able to control those temptations so that you can meet your greatest potential in life. Because we all have this untapped potential. I don't know what the numbers are, but I believe less than 1% of us really achieve it.